Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to Rangers Radio. Rangers 2, Hibs 2. In a match where, we didn't start too well, Gary. I think Rangers were pretty flat. We spoke about it pre-show. And I think you get what you put in a game, and we didn't put enough in through the 90 minutes. But even before the centre half, to get out it, in my opinion, mate.
Aye, Paul, that's what I was just going to actually say, mate. Red cards aside, we huffed and puffed, very, very slow, I felt, in the first 25 minutes. Penalty obviously gets us into the game. Hibs equalise again, sloppy defending. And then we kind of seemed to wake up with the Tom Lawrence goal. Felt that was us kind of starting to get a wee bit of momentum. And then obviously it plays out the way it does, mate. We're fighting to cling on to the win. And to be honest, I thought the team was nearly got to do it. And I would have gave all the 9 players, mate, I would have all gave them the man of the match if they could have just hung on. But inevitability, mate, for 15 minutes trying to hold on to that lead, it was going to happen. And I'm just, I'm just a bit gutted, to be honest, about the way it planned out today, because I felt after the Tom Lawrence goal, I felt we had good momentum and we could have pushed on to get that extra goal and probably see the game out, mate.
If I'm totally honest, mate, after, I'm going to go as quick as early as the third minute. Hibs were clearly setting their stall out. They were, the 2 front quick men, which Martin Boyle and the boy Johan. They were looking to get in behind Sands at Goldson. And I felt Goldson and Sands looked pretty nervy early on as well, mate. As if they were really worried about the pace. 4 minutes, Ryan Jack gets caught on the ball, and New steals it off him because Hibs are pressing us. Edge of the box. So I think the signs were there early, mate. We played our warning signs early doors, and one thing I always praise our manager for is being a reactive manager. Changing things and make decisions and trying to sort. You look how quick the Hibs manager, 27 minutes, he brings off 2 players because he sees it's not working, and we don't respond.
I totally agree, mate. See, when you actually look at the Boyle goal, we've got Sands and Barisic running in with Boyle. Why are them not dealing with him? We know how prolific he is, mate. And obviously Tav again gets done. I'm not blaming Tav overall for what happened today, but it's just really lackadaisical with the defending. And we even said it pre-match, Port, we said there was going to be a goal for Hibs in this game. We predicted that pretty well. But what we didn't predict is other people influencing the game. I'm not a referee basher, but like I say, probably at least one of their red cards was a shocker. It should have been a yellow for me for Lundstrom. And overall, Alfredo, for me, has totally let the team down. And I hope it comes with a heavy fine for him, to be honest, mate, because for me, he's just totally put the game to Hibs after that, allowing us to go down to 9 men. We could have easily seen that game out, I think, with 10. But again, he's let Rangers down, and it seems to be one of these things Alfredo enjoys staying to the team.
Especially with that Hibs team, mate. Ryan Porteous, I don't know if he just red ragged a bill with him. I'm going to side with you. I'm going to defend John Lundstrom. I think that's a professional foul. I've made many of them, because we're obviously a bit slow in your career, and people are going to ref you as quick as that. Then that's a done thing. He wasn't last man. He wasn't stopping a goal. Wasn't stopping a goal scoring opportunity. So for me, that's a booking. But I did feel Willie Collum would try and even up the penalty, mate. I said it. I spoke to people during the game, and I said it would happen. That's not a red card, mate. And I think Morelos' reputation also didn't help him. I think his reputation had been a bit of a bad boy and known for swinging his arms, etc., but been in violent conduct previously. But do I really think he's thrown his elbow at him? I don't. It's soft, but it's still a red card, mate.
the usual, mate. If you give a guy like Colm a decision to make, he's going to go the side of the rules, because he'll always defend the rules. And if you fling your arms and elbows going into somebody's face, it's a straight red, because it's violent conduct, they term it as, and it just gave him an easy decision. There was 3 instances with Alfredo as soon as he came on the park. One, they were charging forward, and he done a wee kick out to one of the Hibs players. I can't remember who it was, but it was a chance that Tav was on the counter attack. And then when Lundstrom got sent off, he's up there arguing with Colm the decision. Again, just highlights him, take Colm for the rest of the game. And then as soon as he does that with his arms, he's basically just cost us the 3 points in a sense. I mean, granted, if we had the 10 men, you never know if that boy's shot at the end was always going to get stopped. I mean, because it was a cracking goal that they scored to get the equaliser. But I mean, for 75 minutes, mate, we're telling the team to sit in for 15 minutes when there's 2 extra players in the park for them. It's just it's a hard task. But it's a point, mate. It's probably, we might look back on it and it's an important point come the end of the season. But again, just very disappointing that we didn't turn up and win the battles early on and get this game put to bed.
Indeed, mate, indeed. I think we better get his phone lines open, Gary. I think we better get the safety helmets
if you
on,
got
mate.
you got the. I was going to say that you got the safety gear ready and the hard hats, mate.
Oxygen made sure they left the PPE. Mate, don't worry.
I've got the shield, mate. I've got the shield ready.
We'll need CS spray. Yep, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You know, Gary, we spoke about it pre-match, and I heard you guys speaking about it during the week as well when Southside, yourself and Jaffa and all them were on. And I highlighted Martin Boyle before the game as a talismanic figure. I done it in Port Support as well. I said he would have a massive part in the day's outcome. And I don't feel we set up to try and stop him, mate. I felt Martin Boyle, even when we had 11 men on the park, mate, I felt he did what he wanted to do. I felt he dominated. He was always a danger. He looked threatening with his pace. I know he goes and sits on the side where, Borner is and James Sands is, but Gary, we highlighted this, and we're just fans, mate. We're just fans. Why did Rangers not deal with this guy?
The thing about him, Port, is he always beats a man, so he's got pace in him. And again, like I said to you about the goal there was 2 on him going into the box. Somebody just has to stick a foot in and deal with it. I mean, we shouldn't have 2 guys getting pushed off the ball. Not at Rangers level. For me, Port, it's poor. Again, we need to be switched on with the pass. It was a good pass we have, but I mean, Tav needs to be switched on to that. The ball's got to get played in front of him and stuff like that. It's just you question it, how we can get ripped open so easily because we're such a good team. But again, we've been maybe papering the cracks a wee bit about the defence. We've probably just been limping by. And again, we get exposed today at our frailties because it was the one thing that the manager's been trying to strengthen for the start of the season. And again, it's been our downfall today.
It'd be interesting for listeners, listening in, mate, when they phone in, if they think they were both sending offs. Because, I think depending on how you view the game, or maybe if you played the game before, I think everyone's going to have a different opinion. I think this is going to be a polarising split in regards to who should we offer on.
100%. I mean, to be honest, mate, if that was, say, like going on Alfredo's one, right, and I'm not jumping on Alfredo's back, it is what it is, right, but Alfredo, he's got previous, right, so he's got that on him already. He's arguing with the ref, and then he's had a couple of kickouts already in the match. his job was to come on and help us, not to hinder us, right? And granted, if that was a Stephen Davis that done that kind of flick out with his horn or his elbow, then it probably would have been a yellow. But again, he's noised up the referee. The referee's probably just waiting for them to give that card, and he done it. He sent him half. John Lundstrom's one shocking. I mean, that's just pure refereeing. Again, like you say, mate, it's no goal scoring opportunity. The player's away, so John Lundstrom's like, right, I'm going to take a card here to stop the attack, which many teams do a lot of times against us. I mean, the chop us down in the attack. So it's a yellow card all day long. But as you said, mate, there's been instances in the game. I think folk were jumping up and down about the Tavernier one in the first half, how it wasn't a penalty for Hibs in that. But to be honest, I think it was the boy Hamill was behind Tav, so there was a bit of argy-bargy in there. So probably that's why there was no penalty gain for that. But you're always scared, isn't it? As soon as you get a penalty awarded to you, especially when technically it wasn't a goal scoring opportunity for us, that he's wanting to even it up during the game.
Is there a Gary? Did you feel we were very flat today? I felt we looked, and I heard the gaffer not speaking. Roy Mackay speaking in the presser earlier on. That he said that we had a closed doors match against Huddersfield. I think it looked like it, mate. I really think I think a lot of our players looked well off it. Ryan Jack, John Lundstrom, Tav getting his leg stretched for cramp. So did Tav. You know, I'm worried, mate. I think your team looks tired.
It's not so much. Well, I definitely leggy the day. Like, there didn't seem to be the right energy. That was very, very slow, and I don't know if that again. We're not savvy to what the managers want in the team today, but like Golson was like taking the ball, holding onto it, and then moving. It wasn't the same pace it was played at against PSV. Certainly no. But what I said to you about the Tom Lawrence goal, that piece of play was what I was expecting out the full game, the way that we were going to be playing. And as soon as Tom Lawrence got that goal, it seemed to fire us up, and I was like, yes, that's us. We're back in the game. We'll charge on now. And I was actually saying to myself, we're probably going to get Ports 3-1 today with the looks of it. But refereeing decisions change a game, mate. I mean, we'll never know if, like I says, that 70 minute mark onwards. And then obviously Buffalo getting sent off. There's only one thing we can do is sit in and try and defend the lead. And like I says, the players done well enough. And where they got the 5 minutes for, I do not know as well. I mean, it just like I says, it was a day of decisions, mate. And that's, I don't think it was so much the team didn't turn up, but I think factors in that game the day just didn't help us get over the line.
The Rangers penalty, guys, the one we got for Cholak getting pulled in the box, soft. Do you agree? Very soft.
Very soft. Soft in the sense, Port, I think that there was no shot on for him or anything like that. So he was in the box and he got pulled and he goes to the ground. But if we remember, the one Colin gave against us at Celtic Park against Carthage, again, that was a soft one. There was a lot of pulling and pushing and stuff like that, and there wasn't even a goal scoring opportunity in that one either. So he's got previous for it. And don't get me wrong, when we got the penalty, I'm jumping up and down about it. But again, it just puts that doubt in your mind that you're like, oh, we got away with one. It's that kind of mindset, and then you're just waiting for it. And to be honest, how they kept the 11 men on the park, because there was some amount of yellow cards sitting for them, but we didn't have enough attacks to try and draw them out to cause another yellow card today. But I don't know why it was so flat today. Port, we knew that we had to get the sleeves rolled up and get in amongst Hibs today. Cut out all the players in what you said in your Port's report as well, mate. Boyles, there was a big one that was highlighted. Stop that boy from playing. And then they've not really got much else up front. I thought the boy that was playing in the right for them today did cause a lot of bother for us, especially he's crossing into the box and stuff like that. But again, the talent that we've got in that part, mate, should be more than what Hibs needs to deal with, because again, they're a rebuild. team. I mean, just very disappointing, mate. There's not much else I can. It's hard to talk to find the positives out of a game like that. Just really, like I say, it's disappointing in Buffalo. He's been a long time coming back for us, and he should be doing more for the team. He should be going out there and getting us a winner rather than causing us bother, mate.
I just felt as well, Gary, see, obviously team selection, and you're watching the first 10, 15 minutes of the game go by, and early doors, I noticed Ryan Jack looked off it. I thought he looked well off it today. Again, I'm not highlighting players' performances. What I'm concerned about, for what I'm seeing, is some players look tired. Like some of them look as if they've done this is coming to the end of the season, Gary. I'm going to be really honest. But I felt Ryan Jack looked well off it. He looked tired. I think Lundstrom looks pretty flat. Not his usual dominant force, dictating play and wanting the ball, and looked quiet. Looked like in a shell. I think Rangers looked as if they're playing with the handbrake on again. Whereas previous weeks I felt like we'd take the handbrake off and we'd got going. I think Matondo offered nothing. I think he gets in. I think he gets in Tav's way, mate. Because he doesn't come in one. He tries to stay on that touchline. And then Ryan Kent, a few runs a day where I felt he should have pulled the trigger, and a shot at goal. And then the ones he did take shots with, they went either over or wide. They're just too many players, Gary. It's hard when you've got maybe 2 or 3 players off, form, or they're just not at the races today. But when you've got 7 or 8 off, then you have to ask what's happening. Is it something? Is it training? Are they training too hard? Was that Huddersfield match a game too much? I know they're trying to get people out of fitness, but look at the stats today. Hibs had 14 shots, we had 9. They had 5 in target, we had 2. Hibs have created 14 chances, we've created 6. Hibs had 5 corners, we had 3. We had 3 saves, although we had more possession. You know what I mean? Hibs had 19 fouls, we had 7. 4 yellows for Hibs, 2 fouls and 2 reds.
The Matondo one, mate, you highlight that really well. I felt he was non-existent a lot of the game today. Just couldn't handle the game. He offered nothing a lot going forward for us today, which has surprised me. Like I says, we looked at the team at this pre-match, and Tillman's been the one that's been the kind of the shining light. So again, Matondo's no really grabbing that shot, mate. Yeah, he's doing very half-hearted performances, and he's going to have to step it up if he's actually going to have a long-term career at Rangers.
I think we'll be joined by Colin, mate. How you doing, Colin? Who's that?
It's Ian from Canada. How's it going?
How you doing, Ian? Well, what did you think of that, mate?
Oh, that was terrible. One point I wanted to bring up was Alfredo's got a previous for this, right? He could have cost us more than 3 points today. With us playing with 9 men on the park, how are we going to look on Wednesday night in Europe?
Aye, indeed, mate. Gary?
I mean, it's probably asking me the question about Alfredo now. It's probably the wrong time because it's straight after the match, and I'm a bit annoyed with him, but he has got previous. Don't get me wrong, the big man scored his important goals and stuff like that, but really, over his piece in his career for me, as a Rangers player, it should be a lot better. He should know the Scottish game by now, and he knows how the refs work. He knows how this game works up here. It's just really disappointing. He's been out for such a long time. We're trying to get him back into full fitness and stuff like that. Hopefully, for pushing on for the game next week. And he goes out, and like I say, his manner coming on to that game the day seemed to be, for me, was the big man, like I'm Alfredo Morelos, and the usual, like I say, the wee flick-outs, trying to kick the players and stuff like that. And nah, for me, the day his attitude was totally wrong.
I think, we expect a lot from him. He's an experienced player now. He's not one of the players that's just joined the club. He's not new to the club. He knows exactly how the referees are in this country. He knows how teams line up against us. He's played teams many times where he's been involved in stuff. He should know better. He should definitely know better. I don't know if Rangers will look to appeal any of these red cards. because they stand in the league, they don't stand in Europe. So Lundstrom and Morelos could still play a feature in Europe, but I would certainly appeal the Lundstrom one. What do you think of that, guys? Ian?
Yeah, like the point is though, is like the players are now going to be more tired because we're playing with 9 men for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just shocking for Morelos because like over the last few seasons he's cost us a lot of points, and yet again he's done it again. This could come down to the end of the season, and we could have 3 points today, but again it's dropped. So
I said it pre-show, Ian. I said, the Hibs game sandwiched in such an important European tie, but we all agreed Rangers were better coming after European ties and just continuing to play. Because we discussed, would have been better having a break and asking the not expect that to catch on here. FA's giving teams help to progress in European tournaments, but we felt Rangers were probably better suited just to continue to keep playing. So I don't think it will do them any favours. The fact they've had to run for 9, basically 20 minutes with 9 men. I think that will affect Rangers at some point during the week. But I just think they'll need to dig deep and use the squad, because that's not good enough. That's not good enough for Glasgow Rangers. And if we play that against PSV, there's going to be one result. GB?
The defensively side, the day Port really worried me. What it says, we certainly don't look as though we're going to keep a PSV team out the way we were against Hibs today. A lot of players ghosting into the box for them. Big crosses getting put in, no shutting players down. Like I says, I just don't know. Like, you know what you're expecting after Hibs. It's just Golson and Tav are very, very experienced at these games. Now, even the Championship, I mean, think how much we've had to dig in against Hibs in they kind of games as well. Tav's been down there. It's just like I say, we really need to get this sorted out, because we were talking about the Zonal Martin and that before, and I just think Gio's not using what was working a lot of the time. He's came into this season and we've definitely been no prepared. Is that the word? For just no ready for the season, and I don't know why, because we've had plenty of prep. It's concerning, but again, the team might be fired up after this, in the sense that they're angry because of the result, and it might galvanise us to go into next week and actually go and grab that Champions League place. So it's a flip side. One thing I'll say, Big John McLaughlin today had a few cracking saves that kept us in the game. A couple of them maybe could have done better, but overall I would probably give him pass marks today.
Indeed, mate. I think we've been joined by Old Davey as well. Old Davey, yeah?
No, yeah, I don't like Port.
Yeah. Gary, definitely. I think basically in regards to the gaffer today, was he slow on the uptake to try and change things? He's got to have seen what we were watching.
Hello, guys.
Hi, that's David.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. How you doing, mate?
I'm here. We are the people. Hold on, I switch this up. Right, you can hear us?
I can hear you, mate, yep.
Okay. Where do you start with that? That was absolutely... there's no words can explain that. And see, when you look at the last goal, we're talking about being brave at the back. I can name you 2 players that turned their back on that ball. Whether you take one and get knocked to, you get in the way. And that worries me big time about your defence. I hate saying it, but there's too many cowards in our defence. And if that mob go like that against the Dutch, we are going to get wiped. And I know we're saying about that shit seat-up and that'll waken us up. That lot will not waken up as long as that defence is there. I'm sorry to say, guys.
Were you worried how flat we were today, David? Did you feel we were very flat?
They couldn't pass a ball, but there just didn't seem to be. I mean, the wee guy, Montando, the wee guy,
Yeah.
he was non-existent. Well, okay, he's got to change the game. What happened to them? They made 2 or 3 changes after about 25 minutes. And when do we make changes? We make changes when we get men sent off. It's not. It's something doesn't. It just annoys me. There's something not right there.
Ian, can I go back to you, mate? What do you think? Is Davey got a point? Is there something, that we're all missing? Is there something going, is there something with fitness? Is there a problem with the gaffer's instructions?
Yeah, we just look tired today, to be honest. I don't know. And in the defence, it's starting to worry me. I was hoping to see Davies in that back line today to get him more game time, because that's what I think he needs. And I don't think Sands did a lot wrong, but at the end of the day, he's not a centre half. So why did we bring this guy in for, what was it, 4 million to have him not even on the bench? Baffles me.
I think the gaffer touched on that he's got a niggling injury, a small injury, but the fact he's totally out the squad tells me it's maybe a wee bit worse than we think it is. When he said a small injury, I presume maybe a niggle that could maybe play through if he wanted to, but they're just not going to risk him because they have Sands. But for having a team that would plenty of centre halves in, all of a sudden, Leon King, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now we're doing it to the bare bones. We've got a youth player who's been brought up to the first team squad, and we've got James Sands. That's all we've got left, because obviously we let Balogun go, Simpson's away, Katic is there, but he's not the manager's plans. So all of a sudden we're doing to the bare bones because Davies is injured. So it's it's interesting for me, and I don't. Does the manager need to go back into the transfer market? Because I am really, really concerned how flat we look. Gary?
Especially, like I says, the way we came off Tuesday night, mate. There was a shift we put in, but like I says, we gave a top team a game. But I don't understand why we needed a game in between that as well. That's a strange one, unless it's the fringe players that were getting time to, say, Arfield, Sakala and all that, the boys that were on the bench. But if we've played any of the boys that started in that 11 today, then questions have obviously got to be asked there. But again, the defence and stuff like that, the full team was very, very slow in starting, holding on to the ball too long. Again, creating our own problems when we and it proved that. See, when we took it to Hibs, see when we attacked Hibs, with the proper play, especially down the left. I felt Kent and Borna had a decent game, and they linked up well with Tom Lawrence and stuff like that. But that right hand side's no right in the court. See, if we're going to play Matondo out there, the two of them have got to be. The two of them have got to be better, and that's why I don't think Matondo's going to work there than now. I would rather have Tillman on the park, and then they can kind of fit him into the system. But and again, Port, that was maybe why Lundstrom was a bit after today, because he wasn't doing his usual duties. I mean, Lundstrom was off. He was off forward. He was right more in the central of midfield today, whereas usually he's covering for Tav, and there wasn't as much as that going on today. I don't think Lundstrom and Jack work well in that system. It's got to be one enforcer and then maybe a couple of attackers. You know what I mean? But that is what it is. That was the team that was put out, and I still stand by it. We should still have enough to go out and give Hibs a game and come away with the 3 points. But again, doing it individuals.
Can I just make a wee point? Sorry for that.
No worries, on you go.
But apart from our performance, that refereeing was absolutely woeful. There's no way we would have lost that game if we had kept 11 players. Morelos, I'm not even going to go there. Blomstrom, never a red card. And we can say how bad we were here and how bad we were there. You get down to 10 and down to 9. That's a game changer. And that's how we lost the game. Bottom line, performance-wise, not good enough, but we would have won that game if we had kept 11 men on the park. And there's only one other person to blame. There's 2 people to blame for that. Colin for the first one and Morelos for the second. And that's just not on.
Well said, Davey. I'm going to bring in Blue Star. Blue Star's joined us. How we doing, mate?
Oh, where do I start? Scunner.
Oh.
Guys, I'm not blaming the ref. I will say this. For me, I turned around to the person next to me and I said straight away, the first team, red card. I didn't know the rules had been changed. It certainly wasn't a malicious intent. No. But that's a red card all day long. David, all day long. What I would say is, Colin, they'd done that to us twice when we had the break of the ball to get through and goal, and he gave nothing. I will say that. What I will say is, I agree with Davey on the point. We were absolutely stinking today. Yes, we probably would have won the game 2-1 with 10 men on the park. But even at that, the players that were on that park, for the performance they put in, yes, we went 2 goals up. But guys, come on, you've got to call it as you see it. We were crap. Never at any time did we dominate that match. Never at any time. And as for Alfie, guys, I'm not kidding you on here. I'm being deadly serious. He shouldn't kick another ball for us. I will go as hard as that to say that. That's just unforgivable, because when Sky played that wee shot back, you'd already seen him having a dig. If that had been varied, they'd been after Park even before his second one. There's no defending him. There's none whatsoever. And he's done. I'm sorry, guys. He's done it too many times. And he cost us that. You can turn around and say he did cost us again, because if he'd stayed on the park, I still think we'd have won with 10 men. We'll never know. But we certainly weren't going to win it with 9 men. But our performance, that's the overall thing for me, and that's no counting the referee. Our performance, that level of performance isn't good enough, guys. We can't dress it up any other way. We can't.
No, you're right, mate. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked the rest of the boys. Blue Star. I'm really worried about how flat and tired our team looks. I'm really worried. Are you any concerns regarding their fitness or how flat they look?
100%. You're absolutely spot on. If you're telling me, listen, even Taft looked as if he was tired running there. I can't get my head around it. They're never fat enough. Never in a million years. Lundstrom looked flat. Jack, my brother texts me at half time and he says, Stevie, he's going to take Jack off. Matondo. Oh, come on, guys. If he merited that amount of time on the park, then we're really, really struggling. Goodness me, the wee guy done nothing. Come on, I know he's only 19-year-old, but the bottom line is, our gaffer brought him in and he's putting him on the park. We need players. We knew what that. Every man, woman, and child that's a Rangers fan knew what we were facing today. Gio must know by now. He watched us getting humped with him in a cup final. Come on, guys, we knew we were in for a battle. That's just no good enough. Our players look far too weak. They look far too slow. And the level of play for what we're playing money-wise, I'm sorry, guys, that's simply no acceptable. And that's taking away a referee in 2 centre-halves. When we had 11 players on the park, that level of performance is simply no good enough.
Ian?
Yeah. Hello?
Hello. What do you think of Blue Star's comments, mate?
Yeah, no, I think he's spot on. But I thought, when Lawrence scored that second goal, okay, we're going to grind this out. Sometimes over a season, you got to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with the sending off, it certainly changed the game. Lundstrom, I don't think it was a red, but
no,
definitely
never.
Alfie. It looked as if he'd already brought his arm down, and then he goes and flicks his elbow and his hand out again, and it's like, come on, like it's going to be sent off.
So are we all in agreement? I'm going to everybody here. Are we all in agreement? Is John Lundstrom's a red or a yellow? I'll go to Davey.
Never. It was a yellow all day long, and I don't care. I know me and Blue Star sing up the same hymn sheet at times.
Yeah.
But if you go back to that game and watch one of the Hibs players chop him down, it's the exact same, and this intent, it's just the same. It was a yellow.
GB.
Oh, aye, it's a yellow all day long, Port.
Ian, what did you say it was again?
Yellow card.
Yellow card. Blue Star, what did you say, mate?
I'm going on when I played football, and up until, as I said to you there when I come on, going with what they said in the Sky Studio, the rules were changed. It wasn't malicious intent under no way, but he was taking one for the team. So if you're going on that, and Wee Davies right, they never done it to us once. They done it to us twice, and they never even gave them a booking. So on that premise, it was a yellow card. But even guys, you can't dress this up. We can't keep defending our teams and saying we would have churned it out. Listen, we were garbage today. The absolute garbage. It shouldn't have mattered who we put out there as that 11. And the worrying thing for me is, guys, we all agreed, maybe bar two changes. That's his starting 11. Let's get this right. That's his starting 11. I'm telling you, come Wednesday, goodness me, we need to go up about 4 or 5 levels for that crap. We'll get absolutely trounced on Wednesday if we play anything like that. Trounced. Let's not kid ourselves on here.
And we're going to try to make calls in, Troops. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
In my opinion, guys, so far as the season's went, I think we've looked, I think we've just got, we've not dominated any games. Blue Star, you touched on it in the first half of the show when you said we've played in fits and starts. We've played maybe a good first half or a good second half, but we've not managed to put anything together yet. Is that due to the manager, or is that players, or like I'm worried about, or is it a fitness thing? Have we just not got the fitness yet?
Well, put it this way: there's no cohesion. The fitness thing is definitely an issue. You could see it today with 100%. You could see it today. As I say, you watched Tav twice. Tav was level with the guy, and twice he couldn't catch him. The one thing about Tav is, for a fact he's fit. He certainly looked as if he was toiling. And both Jack and Lundstrom, unless I'm seeing things that nobody else is, to me they looked a mile off the pace. Now, you've got to put that into perspective and say, well, the games are turning up. Lundstrom's been playing every game. Tav's been playing every game. Guys, I don't see us getting up at any levels. I don't see us getting any better. That's my worry here. I don't see us starting games the way we should be dominating. I just don't see it. Yeah. We're getting the odd wee 10 minutes here and there, guys, and that's it. We are not dominating. We've not had 190 minutes yet. I can't get my head around it. Honestly, I can't.
Ian, I'll get your closing comments, mate, on that comment.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Like we don't do enough on the park. Like as Blue Star says, we got a couple 10 minutes here and there, but the amount of possession we have throughout the game, we don't do enough.
No.
Cool, mate. Right. Ian, thanks very much for your call, mate. Always a pleasure. Always make good points, mate. Don't be a stranger, all right?
Okay, cheers. Thanks.
Cheers, Ian. Take care, mate.
Bye.
Davey, what do you think about the season so far, mate? Honest opinion.
I don't think we've got enough time to talk about it, but what I will say, what I will say, Port, is are you doing the Port report on Monday?
Say that again, mate.
Are you doing, what I'm more concerned about is, are you doing the Port report on Monday?
Oh, I will be, mate.
Because I'll tell you this, son, you have got one problem on your hands, and I'm dying to hear it. So it's all Davey, over and out, and the cry was no surrender.
Right, Davey, cheers, mate. Take care, all right? I think I'll be joined by Kenny. How you doing, Kenny?
All right, Port. All right, guys. Well, actually, I'm not doing all right. I'm actually dealing with this performance today. And by the way, this has been coming. And I'm going to start this up today with Mr. Ross Wilson. I've been pretty underwhelmed with the signings so far. I have been since pre-season, to tell you the truth. This boy Katonga on the right, I just don't get it. He's too late, mate. He wasn't in the game today, along with half a dozen, 7, 8 others, right enough, The signings, I've not been happy. The only one that's impressed me so far is two, Colac and probably Tillman, for about one half each game he plays. But that's about it. But the signings are not good enough. The defence is a total disaster here. It's the left back to right back to the centre of defence. When are we going to get a defender in here that can defend a 6 feet, 4, 5 feet defender? We've been crying out for this now for 2 years. Where is this defender coming? I mean, what's this Rangers board doing here and all? I mean, we've no short of money anywhere after last season and everything else. Why is the money not being spent more wisely here? I'm underwhelmed with these signings. And the season is going to run away from us quickly here if we don't get the finger out. If you still, this right-hand side is still not been sorted out. Forget Scott, right? He's another one. I see it for the right with him and all. He's not the answer. So we've still got a problem on the right. Kent's inconsistent on the left. The midfield today, and Tom, did you call him, scored this? He was in the game. He was garbage. He was garbage today and all. You know, I'm underwhelmed with these signings. And Bronkhurst as well, he needs to take a good look at himself as well. I mean, I'm struggling to figure out what the time that system is trying to play here. I mean, I'm actually raging, but I'm not even going to start the referee. You should have been in that position today in this game. Against here.
I'll take your points to GB, mate. GB, Kenny's points, mate.
No, the point on Gio, what concerns me is that for a Dutch manager and all the backroom staff is that I'm always expecting them to be playing fast and exciting football. But see today, we just seem to be always dead slow, want to play the nice passes and move and all that, and then burn the pace up front and stuff like that. We should just be charging forward and taking this team on. We shouldn't be allowing Hibs to play the ball. I mean, one thing I'll give our ex-manager credit for is that when we went into a tough game, it was a battle most of the time. We knew how to own that midfield, but certain times with Gio, we're very soft, and it's got to be better. Kenny, you're bang on. The whole start of the season, we've been praising them and stuff like that for getting the results and stuff like that. But to be honest, it's got to be the performances and stuff like that. If we're trying to challenge for a title, we don't look as though we've got the pace to last the full season to win a title. We look as though we're going to have a kind of up and down season, is the way it's looking out the now. And it's early days, but come on, like you look at the kind of Livingston and stuff like that, conceding a goal, and St Johnstone and stuff like that, making hard work of these games when we've got a lot of talent in there.
Right now, you're talking about pace. Right now, I don't think they've got pace to get them by September. Looking at them, I mean, they can't start again. There's no tempo to our game whatsoever. It's back forward, getting themselves boxed in. When instead of just punting the ball along, trying to win the second ball, no, they're getting themselves. They're not good enough at the back to play that type of football he's trying to play here for the back right now, Rangers. And I hate to say that as a Rangers fan, we're not good enough to play that for the back all the time. So it's times you've got to go along and try and win the second ball. You know, and Tavernier today is another one. He's caught in the ring. Many times they've been caught out. If it's not him at Barisic on the other side, get caught in the ring side of attacking players. I've fed up watching it's watched a repeat of a movie every other week nearly with this. This Rangers board and Wilson, these signings, see who is actually controlling the signings here? Because if anybody thinks in this show, and I listened to the show before it, the optimism before it, I watched the second half of that game the other night there, and Rangers were rank rotten. They were lucky to get a blooming draw out of the game and went to Tuesday night there. Let's be honest about it. It was a poor second half performance, and I fear for him on Wednesday, and especially fear for him in 2 weeks on the evidence I'm seeing so far. They need to get back into the market again before it's too late. That team will not do anything in the league.
Good point. I've been joined by Ozzy. Jer, how you doing, Ozzy? How was that, mate? Need I ask?
Disappointing with the result. But when you give a SPFL referee a decision to make, you know which way he's going to go, don't you?
Yeah. Unfortunately, what do you think of Kenny's points, Ozzy? You know, in regards to Ross Wilson, the gaffer, the signings, and obviously you've had my concerns earlier on. You know, my concerns are I think we look flat and tired already.
I mean, a few of the players do look tired. I mean, Jack looked tired after 5 minutes. But I don't really get the other points. I mean, earlier in this season, we had callers saying, "Oh, how good we are," and now because of one poor game, because of poor refereeing decisions, which will happen in the SPFL. I mean, now we're calling players saying that they're not good enough. I mean,
can I come in there, Port?
I guess it's just a typical overreaction that we always get whenever we have a bad result.
No, this is sorry, Port. This is no overreaction. This is ultimate coming here. You must have watched a different game, mate. Sorry, this team has not been firing all season. They can't start a game at any sort of reasonable tempo, and it suits the opposition. And I'm not. The referee was terrible there. I don't like this. We should have had that game won before the referees get decisions to make against us.
Correct.
Sorry, the first one wasn't a sending off. Alfie again, you know what I mean? I don't even want to talk about it. This result's been coming.
Yeah.
Star, what are you saying, mate?
Pork, is it Kenny or Terry?
Kenny.
I totally concur with everything Kenny said there. And there's no way this is an overreaction, Pork. You know it's no. We've all said the same thing. We have not started a game. When was the last game we started on the front foot and dominated the first half of a game? We haven't done it yet. Not once. Not once. We all knew what game we were getting today. And our management team certainly should have known. No, he's right in what he's saying about the signings. Yes, we've been living in hope, seeing wee flashes here and there. If you're telling me we're spending the best part of 11, 12 million on a left back and a centre half, then we don't get them played. He's playing with two wee young boys. Now, that's what they are. They're two wee young boys at 19-year-old that haven't been playing first-team football. Let's get that right. We've seen flashes for Tillman, and we've seen one wee flash of Matondo. Now, the wee boy was lost out there the day. Let's get that right away. He was no better than... He's no better than with the wee guy that was supposed to have been 40 million, Diallo, and we all know what we've seen of him. So if we're resting with laurels on we 19-year-old boys, Rangers Football Club are better than that. Where's the money, Wayne? We should be bringing in. We were told we were bringing in automatic starters. They were supposed to be pushing the players that we already had there. Well, if you're telling me they guys are walking into that team the way they did today, then I'm sorry, guys. I'm mega worried, really worried. Because we haven't started any game we've played so far where we've looked dominant, nowhere near it.
Exactly.
So do you think that's a problem, guy? I'll take it around the lotties. If we signed, as the players have signed too young and inexperienced, should we be aiming for guys more down the sort of Tom Lawrence age, 27, been there, done it, seasoned pros?
Yeah.
Is that
without a doubt,
Blue Star?
Without a doubt, Port, we need proven pros. Lawrence, for all, he wasn't great today. The one thing you've got to give him credit for, when that ball went across, and it was a great ball for Barisic, who else was running in to meet that ball?
Never.
Kolak wasn't getting to it either. So you had to give him credit. At least the guy was getting forward to get in the box. The guy played in the championship last year. At least we know he's fit. But the rest, come on, guys. If that's what we're hedging our bets on to beat that other mob out of the city, who incidentally are still buying players, Kenny's right. We need players, and we need them brought in pronto, or this league's already going. Let's not kid ourselves on here.
GB signing so far. If we could do the wrong road, I get you've got to invest in youth players. You have to get youth players in the door. But should we be signing, seasoned pros, guys from that time as well?
I mean, the Tillman one is proved to be a kind of a gem in the sense that it's a loan, or I like to call it, come in, Port.
How you doing, Peter?
No bad. All I'll say is Gio needs to go.
Already?
Yeah.
Already.
What's your thoughts on that, mate?
Unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Even before the 2 red cards, we are shocking. I said it against Livingston, against Kilmarnock, St Johnstone. Yeah, okay, at home, you expect that. But I said to my mate before the game started, I said, we're going to drop points today. And I know the 2 red cards, that's a big factor. But before that, we didn't pepper the goal. There's just nothing there. Too defensive, and you're not going to win the SPL title playing that way.
Yep. Here.
And I'll stick by that. I'll stick by that.
GB.
A manager can win Feyenoord their first title in 20 odd years, was it? I think.
Yeah, it was.
The next season, the fans wanted rid of him. He went to China. He was sitting 10th, 11th in China, and then he came to us. And here, I'll admit, I wanted him because I thought he'd bring in some Dutch players. But why is he not going to the Dutch market? Why not? Because I think the board don't trust him.
It's been asked on this show, me and GB in particular, were expecting a wee. I didn't want an influx of Dutch players, but I thought he'd have dipped into that market certainly to grab, some talent from it. GB.
Aye, Paul, like I say, the signings so far, I mean, when he signed that boy, Matondo, we did spend a fair couple of million on him, but again, we're waiting to see whether it's going to pan off. If you need, it's early days. I mean, these players can improve, but I agree with Blue Star. It would have been better if we would have signed more guys like Tom Lawrence. Like, so say we got a right tap winger, like Kent's level in a sense, for a tap team coming in that right hand side. That's what you're probably looking at. But we're trying to buy potential all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll work for you, sometimes it won't. But as it looks now, it's going to bring criticism on Gio. Well, not so much Gio, by the way, because it could be Gio's getting a catalogue of players and they're turning around and saying, this is what you've got to pick for. Do you want to look at the videos of them and do you fancy them? And then Gio's probably went like, right, I go for him. Because I'm very surprised that we've not went for any Dutch players. Very, very surprised.
Aye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on, lads. We'll be joined by a new caller, Davey Corby.
How you doing, lads? I am not very happy. I am not very happy at all. That was garbage. And that Morelos should not play for Rangers ever. He's a silly boy. He is a silly boy. And if Rangers don't see it now, they will never will. And the defending was absolutely shocking. And I do agree with you, lads, that the yellow card for Lundstrom, he should not. That's not a red. That is not a red. I don't agree what that William Collins was doing, because that's definitely not a red. But Morales,
Dave, can I just cut in a minute? Can somebody turn the TV off in the background, please? Somebody's got a TV on.
Sorry, boys. I need to go, boys. But anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Going, mate? Right, Kenny. Cheers. Thanks a lot, mate. All right. Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Right, on you go, Dave.
I mean, it was a horror show. What was Tavernier doing? Tavernier wasn't doing anything. The defence was absolutely ghosting. I don't know what he was doing. You know what I mean? Even when Tavernier gave the ball away, and then that leaded up to the goal. I'm sorry, but where's the defending? What's happening? I'll tell you one thing: it's not working. And if we're going to win that league this year, we can forget it, because we need another right back in that squad. And the money, what we've used. I'm sorry, lads. That the young 18-year-old who played today, what's his name again? What's his name?
Matondo.
Yes, he was shocking. He was shocking. He was absolutely shocking. You know what I mean? And we can't. Sorry, Bears, but we can't go through this. We can't not go through this. We've got a game on Wednesday night, and we need to turn up. If we don't turn up,
there's another thing. See if anything happens to Kolach now. We don't even have a reserve striker. That's Alfie band now. So it's mounting up. We need to go out and get a few players in. It's not enough for this league's gone. We have to.
Aye, you're right. In fact, can I come in here? You see this board as well. I'm looking at this board here. I mean, we adapted here to a biscuit tin mentality. We've accused of them for years, because that's what it looks like to me, some of these signings. We can't afford to bring young boys in and expect them to hit the ground running like this. You said there earlier on there about Diallo. I see him as I said this a few weeks ago. I see that boy Diallo with a wee bit more face about him. He's not any better than Diallo. So, you know, this right side of the field's been questioned for years with us. Put the right-sided winger player. Before we had it to Scott Wright, he's not the answer either. But I'm beginning to detect for this board years a biscuit tin mentality. Get the money spent before it's too late here, and the title's gone to them again.
I can't argue that. But give me another caller. Smurf, can you hear us, mate?
Hi, how you doing, boys? All right. Listen, I've just got a point. Very, very, very quickly. I'm driving. Is this? We're struggling. Starting games really slow. The defence is a shambles. Everything's a bit. There's no point going over what everybody's been going on about for the last couple of years. The point is, why we not see more of Stephen Davis? More than ever, we need this guy's experience. He's a calming influence. He's the best football player probably at the club. You know, I get he's 37, but even if we can only get a half out of him, you know, let's face it, that's all you get out of Tillman, innit? If we can get a half out of him, it can just set the tempo and set the tone for the rest of the game. And I just think we need you know, going to Easter Road's one of the hardest games we'll play all season. And you're going out there with a second string, a wee boys. You know, we are not in a position we can afford to leave with experienced players out in games like that, nor are we good enough to sell our best players. I know that Aribo wanted to go, but that big boy at the back that went to Ajax, we should never have let him go. And that's self-evident. That's going to cost us the title, and it's going to cost us a place in the Champions League. So that £19 million or whatever he got for him is going to prove to be fool's gold. Let me tell you, we don't get that replaced pronto. The league's gone. We'll be in the Europa League, and that's one level. You know,
speculate to accumulate with the money. We've not done it.
Listen, boys. See, before you go any further, you talk about speculate, accumulate, right? I get what you're saying. You want to see money coming in. It doesn't work like that. I know that the development that's going on at Ibrox is phenomenal. The money that's been spent is phenomenal, and infrastructure, and I know that for a fact. And so the money is getting spent, but it's not been spent in the team. And I guess we can't do. You can't be all things to all men, you know. But you don't need to let the boy go. You know, this early in the season, you've got to. You're struggling at centre back, and I don't think Ben Davis is the answer either. No, beside Goldson, we need a dominant centre half that's going to go, especially with zonal marking, when it's a case of you've got carte blanche to play the game as you see it, and go and be instinctive and intuitive and attack balls. You know, we need a dominant, aggressive, powerful centre half, and we don't have it. There's no one at the club. There is not one at the club.
GB, it's in regards to what the guys are saying, right? I'm finding it hard today to create an argument on any of the boys' points. I agree with pretty much everything the boys are saying. Is there an argument? Can Rangers turn this round with the current squad they've got?
I mean, Port. I mean, two red cards. If we grinded out a 2-1 result, we're probably saying that's a snatch and grab and get out of there, and we've ticked off a hard place, a hard away game, and then you're looking for them to go into the following week with more training and more game time and all the rest of it. But we have limped a bit for the start of the season. If you're looking at the league, just purely in the league games, we haven't looked powerful. We haven't looked as if we went out to go and spank teams. Because, I mean, the way we set up, it looks as though we should be going out and doing that. But it's we we can't wait for players to eventually hit form come Christmas time. We need them to be firing right away, and I just think we've missed the boat a wee bit, and it's going to, what it says, it's got to take a big effort for us to keep the title challenge, because I'm not being funny, but across the road now, they're looking a very settled side, and we're kind of, I think everybody said on it, we've had flashes of brilliance, and we just need that consistency to come very, very quickly.
Blue Star,
but the league's not aware. The league's not aware.
How do we turn this round, Blue Star? How do we fix this?
Honestly, I said to you when I seen the team, I thought that was more or less what he was going to start with on Wednesday against a higher class opposition. We all knew it was going to be a hard game today, but I thought that what he was putting out there would have controlled that game. For me, guys, even at 2-1 with 11 players on the park, never at any time was I convinced we had won that game. I wasn't, because we never controlled that midfield at all. And as soon as a high ball went up, your heart's in your mouth at that defence. And at the moment, there is no way in a million years teams are looking at us and they know we're weak. That's the bottom line. Do any of us hold our hands in heart and look at us now and think we can turn this round just like that? I'll tell you right now, we can't. Because we've not been able to do it for the start of the season. Even a load of games that we've won, we've never been convincing. And that's the point, Paul. Yeah. I'm not saying we can't turn it round, but the players at his disposal now, he's going to struggle.
That's right. He's going to have to take other players in. There's no doubt about it. It's still, one of the callers said that Stevie Davis. If you're relying on a 37-year-old Stephen Davis to come in and play every game, well, what is we as a club doing wrong here? The board, the North Wilson, and all the rest of it. We shouldn't have been relying on Steve Davis.
Correct. No, I agree.
After the 55
I agree.
I said that after the 55 season, we shouldn't have been relying on Steve for it last season. Bringing in, he's 37 years of age, for God's sake. So look at the board, look at Ross Wilson, look at the signing policy. This is he's flagged down for years for being biscuit tin mentality. This is what I'm seeing with the outboard right now, incidentally.
He's on make cracking points, guys. On you go, Smurf. Hurry up. One more point for me to finish the show, mate. On you go.
See the sort of transition we get away with in terms of we go to the final of Europa between the sort of Gerrard GDB era, right?
Yeah.
But see this year, where he's putting his stamp on, Gerrard was all about momentum, power, pace, closing people down, getting people's faces, and just playing to your strength and high tempo, aggressive football. And it just seems that he's asking to play a totally different way, where it's all about ball retention and passing it about and trying to suck teams in almost, and then get in behind them. And we're weak. Route one football, when you've not got a dominant centre half with inferior teams with inferior players, it's going to beat us.
Correct.
We need to get back to what we're good at. Tav can't play that game. Tav's a machine. He's a Ferrari. He needs to be out there, up and down that wing, and cutting inside and power and pace and momentum. And that's true to life. If you lose momentum, you lose your way. And that's what's happening. We're passing a ball, trying to be some silky Dutch utopian ideal. Well, we don't have the players to do it.
Fair point, mate. Thanks very much, Smurf. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Blue Star, Old Davy, Ian for Canada, every other caller that's called in, all the listeners. GB, thanks very much for your help today again, mate. Excellent show. Listen, guys, your passion's showing through. We're all hurting. I just hope Gio can turn this round, as you're all saying, before it's too late. Can I thank Old School Blue and Fox who are behind the scenes. And that's us for the day, mate. Thanks very much. Cheers, folks. Thank you.